And finally, Aaron Eckhart finds himself at the center of a reboot and a centuries-old war between gargoyles and demons in I, Frankenstein.
Nibirius has found a way to summon every demon you've ever descended.
What?
Possession. In bodies that have no souls.
Only the dead have no souls. What is the use of possessing a corpse?
There is none. Unless you can animate that corpse. Nibirius has been planning this for centuries. Victor Frankenstein just made it possible.
All right, so I, Frankenstein is the latest in just this slew of January movies that have not been screened for critics at all.
Yeah, and what that means, when a studio has confidence in a movie, they want to screen it for critics maybe a week or two ahead of time so that the critics start talking about it even though we're not really supposed to.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a groundswell of buzz about a movie.
Yeah.
And when you don't screen it for critics or when you don't make it available until basically the day of release, red flag.
Yeah, and everyone knows that. You know, people will still see it, but then Rotten Tomatoes scores about 0. So, so I, Frankenstein, does it deserve a 0? What do you think?
Yeah, you know, I didn't go in with high hopes based on the trailer.
Yeah.
To me, it looked like like the Underworld folks went, Kate Beckinsale, we can't get her to do it again.
Yeah.
She costs too much, so let's just take another iconic movie monster and drop them into pretty much the same template.
It is the same template, exactly. Instead of lichens and vampires, this time it's
gargoyles and demons.
Wait, so the gargoyles are angels in this movie?
They're the good guys.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then there are demons that look like dinosaurs. and Frankenstein's in the middle, and you never really know. I don't know. It just gets lost. This seems like a movie that was made by a committee. They're like, and throw in that action scene.
Yeah, exactly.
And that action scene.
You know what I thought was really funny? The first 10 minutes are exposition to set everything up for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Frankenstein meets gargoyles for the first time and doesn't really know who they are. And we don't either. So the gargoyles go, okay, here's who we are. And by the way, here's who they are. And here's how you can kill them. Here, you have to have this inscription.
Yeah.
And here's your own weapons. And we'll give you a little montage of how to,
Yeah, we're not going to help you train.
But we'll show you in the Arctic going.
Do your thing. Here's some sticks.
And all of a sudden, you know how to use them.
It's basically Batman Begins for Frankenstein.
Yeah.
I guess.
It was a combination of like Blade and Van Helsing and in an Underworld template.
Exactly. And Aaron Eckhart, he's just doing this gravelly voice the whole time. He doesn't need to try. I mean, he literally just walks in, does the role, puts on his makeup, probably left forgetting about the entire experience.
And 200 years later, he's walking down the streets of Manhattan or who knows what in his $200 haircut, and no one notices.
Yeah, and Bill Nighy plays the villain. And
another Underworld holdover.
And he can chew the scenery like no one else. And he is able to survive these movies which are just awful.
Although I thought he was more menacing in Underworld.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, until he went the full demon, I was like, oh, he's an English guy in a suit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The scariest of all. I mean, those English guys in suits.
But I do think that it picked up a bit and found its average action footing.
I'm right there with you. There was really bad CG, but the action scenes were fine.
Yeah.
And they mostly, all the things that weren't fine were covered just by flames. Because when you kill a demon,
there were a lot of flames.
Its fire soul goes down to hell.
Except when you kill an angel, its blue soul goes to heaven.
But really, so every action scene was just flames everywhere. And I'm like, that's a fine visual. I'm fine with it. People are going to like it. It's a PG-13 action movie that people are going to like way better than Legend of Hercules.
Yes.
I mean,
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I did think another thing that brought it down was the dialogue.
Yeah.
Like, I could write in my head every line they said before they said it.
Yeah.
And they put a lot of them in the trailer. God will damn you this day. He already has. This ends tonight. Those kinds of things are like, wow.
And you got to love it when the movie ends with, I, Frankenstein.
I will do this.
Yeah.
I will do that. I, Frankenstein.
It's based off a graphic novel, so it's supposed to be a little tongue-in-cheek. There was no humor about
Although that last part super reminds me of Blade as well.
And it was kind of a noir with gargoyles and demons in a way, except it kind of sucked. Yeah. I don't know, what would you give?
But it set itself up for a sequel. Like, it thinks it has what it takes to
Underworld
be a
has
franchise.
3 sequels, so it's possible.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, one without Kate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was surprised. I didn't think it was awesome, but I didn't think it was as terrible as I thought it was.
I wasn't
from
insulted
the trailer.
at all.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty standard, horror action flick.
Yeah.
There was nothing
Sure.
new.
No, not
You
at
know,
all.
not like I went, oh, wow, now that's groundbreaking. It was pretty much, no, that's Underworld. But, you know,
Yeah.
Underworld was okay for what it was, too. I gave it
Yeah.
a C. And
You
that was
gave
a
it a C?
pretty for average action flick. I didn't
Okay.
think it was horrible, but I didn't think it was wonderful.
I'm also giving it a C. And I hate to say it because I want to give it a D, but it deserves a C.
Yeah, well, there you go. So we both gave it a C, and it is rated PG-13. Now be sure to follow us on all manner of social media and check out our next show when we go over that awkward moment.
And we're also going to be talking about Labor Day with Kate Winslet and Josh Brolin.
As well as 2 indie films, God Loves Uganda and The Best Offer.
We might even make some time for Mitt.
We should maybe make some time for Mitt, all things considered.
He needs some kindness, I think.
Yeah. I'm Rich Bonaducci with TheRealPlace.com.
And I'm Kent Dunn with ShowtimeShowdown.com. And remember, it's not cynical.
It's just critical.
I thought I Frankenstein was actually better than I was expecting going in. I actually really enjoyed the fight scene. The story wasn't that bad either.
I thought I Frankenstein was very well put together from what I expected it going in. That they took the story